We've all been there. You go and use a new system for the first time and you can't figure out where to start. The good news is that in Totara Learn, you can prevent this problem with user tours. Before we get started, it's important to note that user tours are an experimental feature in Totara Learn. There are a range of ways the user tours can be used on your site, so this allows you to experiment and see what works for you. I want to create a user tour for my site dashboard, so that new users are given guidance on what to do. User tours point out individual items on a page and provide further information to the user. To get started, I'll go to Site Administration, Development, Experimental, and select User Tours. Here I have the option to create a new user tour or import one I've previously created elsewhere. I'll create a new tour. On this page, I'll create the settings for my tour before adding my content. I'll start by giving the tour a name. Perhaps most importantly, I have to decide where the tour will appear on my site. I know it's my dashboard, so I'm going to copy my dashboard URL here, leaving off the start of the address, which is unneeded. When doing this for your own site, you can leave off the domain name and just copy everything after that. If you wanted a tour to appear on multiple pages, for example if you have multiple dashboards on course pages, you can use a wildcard to link the tour to many pages. Select this checkbox to enable the tour. It might be best to leave this unchecked while you're editing your tour, but I'll check it here so we can see the tour immediately. The next few options determine how the user tour appears to users. Where they appear in relation to the item they refer to, what to do if the item isn't found, for example because it doesn't appear on a particular page, whether to include a backdrop to highlight the item you're pointing to, and whether the tour should move on when the user selects the target. Next, decide who should be shown the tour. You can show it to anyone accessing the page regardless of role, or only to specific roles. For example, you might want to point things out to other site administrators, or only highlight things in a course to users enrolled as a learner. You can also set it to appear only when a certain theme is used. I'm happy with these settings, so I'll save my changes. My user tour is now listed on this page. It's time to add my content. I'll click on the tour in the list and then choose to add a new step. I need to tell the tour which item on screen I want to point to, or whether I want the tour to appear in the middle of the page. As this is my first step, I'll choose that option. I'll enter a title and content text for my step. Then I'll save my changes to add this step to my tour. I'll repeat the same process to add my next step. This time, I want to point out the current learning block on my dashboard, so I'll select this block, enter my title and content, and then save. Let's imagine I've now added all of my steps. Before we look at the tour I've created, one final useful tip on this page is the option to force the tour to be displayed to all users again. By default, tours will only be shown once to each user, but if you make changes to your site, you might want to show the tour again. Selecting this option will reset the tour as if no users have ever viewed it, and everyone accessing the page will be shown the tour again. Now let's go to the dashboard, and you'll see that the first step of the tour is displayed. It's positioned in the center of the page and shows the title and the content text. On selecting the Next button, the second step of the tour is displayed. It's positioned beneath the item it refers to, in this case the current learning block. Note that the tour scrolls the page if needed, so that the item and tour are visible to the user. So that's the basics of setting up and viewing a user tour. Why not add one to your Totara Learn site today?